Surprise Saturday daily financial news. I hope you're having a wonderful day. A couple of quick thoughts this morning. Let's talk about Tyler Perry and the impact of AI. We can talk about existing home sales. We can talk about companies producing a quote unquote surprise profits. As an ex-accountant, I have some thoughts and feedback on that. And yes, we will include some great feedback that I've collected from the ORAT celebration in Vegas. Why don't we start it off with Mr. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, if you don't know, he was on the cusp of launching an $800 million studio expansion. He was going to add 12, yes folks, 12 sound stages to his empire. And folks, Tyler Perry has put that investment on hold. Why has he done that? Well, according to the article that I read, he's doing it completely because of AI. There's a lot happening in the AI or artificial intelligence space that is impacting the movie industry. Yes, I have seen some demos where you can use prompts to create essentially videos. So Tyler Perry, again, on the cusp of investing almost $1 billion, it is now put on hold. And again, if this AI thing takes off and folks like Tyler Perry really learn how to use it, he could probably do the same thing as 12 sound stages with like 80 million bucks. So yes, folks, AI is going to change industries. It is going to change how we do things. And frankly, I think Tyler Perry made the right call to at least put the brakes on that $800 million investment. Alrighty, folks, let's talk about existing home sales. Existing home sales came out on, I think they came out on Thursday, but I missed them. We didn't talk about them. Existing home sales, as I have it, rose 3%. Again, this is transactions, rose 3% to a yearly run rate of 4 million. They were down 1.7% year on year. Interesting note, inventory is up 3.1%. Please note, existing home sales, aka closings in January, meant that the contracts or pendings were inked in late November or December. We've always got to put that caveat because again, real estate uses interest rates, and sometimes rate moves, as we're seeing now, can really impact transactions. Some interesting stats below the surface. First, prices. On a year-on-year basis, prices are up 5.1% in January. Yes, 5.1%. 16% of homes sold over list price. You know, well, actually, those were signed in November, December. I guess that makes sense. 16%. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Aloha. 32% were cash. That is up up from 29% in December, so more cash buyers. And then finally, 28% were first-time home buyers. That first-time home buyer stat is concerning. Historically speaking, just for context, the average over decades is 40%. I'll say it again, 28%. So we are down 30% from historical averages. A lot of that is because of inventory lockup, people not selling. Again, the Fed broke housing, which means you stay put longer before you move on. And I think we are really seeing that in the first-time home buyer space. Along with existing home sales, we got a report from Redfin, which I thought was interesting and frankly encouraging. Redfin says that inventory, active listings, is up 10% year on year if you take the 4-week average ending February 18th. Folks, we need inventory. As I've said a couple of times over the last week, I hope rates stay at 7% so that we can slowly build inventory. We can add to days on market, and slowly but surely the housing market heals. What else is going on out there? How about the idea that some companies have reported a surprise profit? There were several companies at the end of the week that jumped because they showed a surprise profit. Now, I'm not going to name them because I haven't looked at their balance sheet. But trust me, as a former general ledger accountant, somebody who was responsible for closing the books, executives inside a company can make legal changes to assumptions that materially impact the earnings statement of a client or company. You can't fake revenue, but you can massage earnings. What is an example of that? This is just an example. Perhaps there was something historically you took as an expense. And if you take it as an expense, that whole reduction is dollar for dollar. If you now make some company-wide decision that you are now going to capitalize said item, you may decide to capitalize it over 3 or maybe even 5 years. What happens? Well, you either take 20% or 33% of the cost to the bottom line, and lo and behold, bingo bango, earnings look better. Last thing I will say about this, again, as a former general ledger accountant, typically speaking, you can make these decisions that impact a quarter. You might be able to take it out 2 quarters, but there is always a price to be paid. You will pay for it later. So again, I always chuckle when I see a company say, give a surprise profit, because it shouldn't be a surprise unless revenue went up exponentially, right? If revenue outgrew your cost basis, sure. But yes, those are some things to think about. Let's talk about the real estate industry. I've been asked about it a lot. And my biggest thought is, I think the real estate transaction, the selling and buying of a home, the framework that we have leveraged for decades could fundamentally be different soon. What might that look like? Again, I'm not a licensed agent. I have no dog in the fight. But near as I can tell, one of the potential outcomes is buyers will start paying a fee or a commission or a whatever they're going to call it. They'll call it something. I think that is one possibility going forward. Another possibility, according to Ryan, how do you say that? Tomasello, he's an investment banker. He thinks that buyers will start paying fees and total collected fees could drop as much as 30%. Again, if real estate commissions fall 30% and we're already operating in an environment where 40% transactions, it could get tough for more and more real estate agents. So again, this was based on an article in MoneyWise. MoneyWise estimates that real estate commissions could drop 30%. Other news of the day, it looks like Reddit has filed to go IPO. They are going to go IPO on the New York Stock Exchange. Affirm has had to lay off 6% of staff. Sonovo, solar company, has announced a $100 million stock offering. Think of that as liquidity. Think of this as buying runway. The solar industry is really in a lot of trouble. Let me make sure I got anything else, and then we'll go into the feedback. So first and foremost, folks, I want to thank all of you that have taken the time to create content about the ORAT event in Vegas. I have watched several of them. If you've created others and I haven't seen it, please send it to me. I would love to collect your feedback. First, shout out Financial Firefighter, Homes and Hustle, and Chris Wissing. Hopefully I've said that correctly. I watched your recap. I've shared the recap on the channel. Thank you for all the great advice. I am actively creating a list of feedback already on things that could be improved going forward. And then All Nighter Hider, thank you for your video. It was very well done. I actually think you're right. So folks, one of the things you hopefully know is we recorded the sessions. In fact, my team has already cut them up. I'm actively adding them to your Teachable accounts today. So again, trying to exceed expectations. But one of the things that Ryan said, and I agree with him, the fact that the meetings were recorded gave you the ability to network freely. right? It gave you the chance to sit down and figure out which ones you wanted to see, and also gave you freedom to network. Also, a lot of feedback on networking. I could already let you know that working with Melinda at the Blind Center, we are setting up next year to have 6 hours of networking next year. So folks, we take feedback, I take feedback. I'm already working on making next year better. And if you want to see the event, again, I'm already actively adding you, so give me a couple of days. There's almost 500 people I have to add. If you want to buy the event because you missed it, you can buy it today. It's $199. I told you it would be more expensive. I wasn't kidding. You could have had it for $99. Today it's $199. But rest assured, you also get 21 bonus podcasts that as extra goodies that I let the other experts use and leverage. So if you were in the VIP group, I completed adding you this morning. So if you go to your Teachable account and you bought a VIP ticket, you should see the replay this morning. General admission. I have just started working on your file. There's almost 300 folks. I think I've gotten through the first 10 or 15. It will take me a couple of days. And then virtual. Virtual, there's about 100 folks. I will get through that. So my intention, if you bought a ticket, you will have access to it by the end of the week. Cross my fingers. Again, exceeding expectations. I told all of you it would take 4 to 6 weeks, and we might make 2 weeks. So again, hopefully you enjoy that. Hope you have a great Saturday. I've got both my dogs in my lap, so we're going to go for a walk. Take care, have fun. Bye.